What is up, Stud Squad? It is I, Logan, and welcome back to our top 10 minifigure series. Now, continuing this on, we are moving into the Rogue One movie. Now, I'm sure this video is gonna not even break 1,000 views, considering the solo one didn't do well. But I am still here. I want to follow through and make this a complete series, one of our first ones. And I am just so excited, so please remember to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button to help promote this video, and it really gets the analytics working, and, you know, more hopefully at least a decent amount of people will see it. Now, at number 10, we have the character of Anton Merrick. Now, this figure came out back in 2018, so 3 years ago, in the Advent calendar. This was, I believe, one of the only exclusive figures of that year, but it is super cool. So, with this figure, we get his regular blue, you know, pilot jumpsuit, which looks actually really great. Obviously, the torso looks fantastic. The head print looks great. You famously know this guy. He was, like, a side rebel pilot in Rogue One. He was like the leader of the basically ground-based assault. I really love the hairpiece in this. I've used it on my Lukes. I've used it on my Cobb Vanths. There are just so many great uses for that hairpiece. I wish it was used more. He also does come with a helmet. It technically comes on this snowman figure, but you put it on this guy, and it looks great too. It's like a checkered pattern, I believe. But you know, it's just a super fun character. General Merrick. Just a really nice dude. Now let's move into number 9. Now at number 9 we have Pow without the sticker on backpack. So basically I like the one with the sticker on backpack, but Pow is really cool. I like the guy mainly because he has this really funny expression of him like screaming. It looks hysterical. So yeah, so moving up from the legs to the torso, it's all fun. Again, I love alien diversity in Star Wars. A guy actually did even recently make a mock where he used all these different aliens. In Bobalug, I believe, so shout out to them. It was fantastic. It was of Coruscant, but that's a side point. You know, the hat looks fantastic. The backpack looks great. It came out back in 2016. I believe this came out in the Krennic shuttle, I believe. So quote me on that if you tell me in the comments below if that's correct or not. But let's move into our number 8 pick. At number 8, we have the Shore Trooper Captain. Or just Shore Troopers in general. I just chose this one over the regular Shore Troopers because I thought he looked cooler. The Shore Trooper Captain is great. So I like this guy a lot. He comes with these like light blue arms. He came out back in 2017, I believe, in a polybag. And again, Shore Troopers came out throughout different Scarif sets, different, I believe they came out in the TIE Striker. Just beautiful, beautiful figures. I love the Shore Troopers. You know, he gets a nice little waist cape, which we haven't seen probably since the Shore Trooper. We haven't seen those in a bit. And I'd like to see them used more, because there's a lot more places where they could be used a lot better. But yeah, so anyway, the torso print is fantastic. The leg printing is fantastic. The helmet is obviously new. And the interesting thing about, especially troopers from Rogue One, more than any type of trooper, is they've become so normalized in Imperial armies, where it used to be stormtroopers, TIE pilots, scout troopers, and, you know, the basics from the originals. And now when we've had Rogue One and Solo, they've kind of been normalized as, like, you know, regular army builder figures too, which I find really fun. But let's move into number 7. Now at number 7, we have one of our very fun characters from Rogue One, or character that I personally liked, and it could have not been played more perfectly, but it was Director Orson Krennic. This figure is fantastic. So it came out back in Krennic Shuttle, obviously, in 2016, and it was great. I like it. It was my first actually white cape. I always needed one for like Mon Mothma or Princess Leia. This was the first one it came with, so I've used that in a bajillion different ways. The torso print is obviously great. I love getting the white captains. They're useful. You know, we've gotten them on Thrawn. We've also gotten them on Admiral or Moff Yularen or whatever his name is. So that looks cool. The head print obviously works for this character. And I only think the only thing I could really have a problem with is maybe if they gave him, say, like, printed legs. Like, that would have been nice. But, you know, I understand why they didn't. It's still a great figure, and I can't believe these figures have only shown up in one set, which, it baffles me, honestly. But let's move into number 6. At number 6, we have Biston. Again, love this alien diversity in LEGO Star Wars. The green from head to toe, or the green from torso to toe, I should say. It looks fantastic. I love the printing and the little jumpsuit. I think midi legs, which didn't exist back then. But if they did, they would have worked loads better than this does. He's a little too tall from his movie appearance. I just love the little monkey mold. I own this figure. He came out in the U-Wing, which is a great set, by the way. And, he's just a fun character. He was, screaming in monkey language. And supposedly, he and A few others, like Moroff, who's later on in the list, were supposed to have bigger roles in the movie, but they did huge cuts to that movie, which I'd like to see the other cuts, by the way. But besides that, again, very nice figure. I think he has beautiful printing, especially for a custom mold. And let's move into number 5. At number 5, we have Bavis Malbus, the Guardian of the Wills. He came back in the AT-ST set, which was fantastic. He was a beautiful figure. So he came with this custom build for his backpack, which was his kind of weaponizing thing. I think they could have done it slightly more better, just because the way his backpack looks in the movie, but it looks good either way. Obviously, the torso looks fantastic. I think the big problem I'd have with this figure is the hair. It just does not work that well. I think if they used the Quinlan Voss hair, that would have worked better, but I know they couldn't really do that because the backpack, it was a bit of a mess. I know they couldn't do it perfectly. He used 2 different facial expressions. They look good. I honestly use this figure's face for Clone Troopers sometimes, just because, it works that well if you want to do an aged up Boyle figure. That would be neat. He has all these nice little logos on his torso. You'll notice he has his hair braids almost falling onto them. So that's neat. And he even has back printing, which obviously you can't see. And I just like this figure a lot. Now let's move into number 4. This is K2SO. K2SO Droid, obviously fantastic. Came in Krennic Shuttle. I wish we got more versions of this guy. He looks really cool. So obviously his regular battle droid arms. He has a super battle droid or commando droid legs. The big thing you're getting here is the torso. Now, the reason this is so cool is you're just getting an awesome, awesome mold. The head and the torso are connected, and on top of that, you get amazing print. So the print on the torso is fantastic. The eye lining is set up great. He has some printing on the side of his head, which looks good. And the coolest part I love is the Imperial logos on the side of his arm. Those look so cool. Especially when you have arms rotating around and it stays in the same place. It just looks fantastic, especially for that tiny little detail. That was extremely creative of LEGO, and I really commend them for them doing that. It was just a beautiful, beautiful figure. I'd probably have him higher up on the list if there weren't so many good ones. But let's move into number 3. Now, I am going to be biased for a second. I really liked Chirrut Imwe as a character, or Imwe, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. So I have him a little higher probably than he should be. But yeah, so he is at number 3. First of all, he gets this brand new customly printed cape, which is customly, designed and everything. He came back in the Imperial Hover Tank, I believe that's what it's called. This is our first interpretation of a blind Star Wars character, other than Kanan, which came out a year later. But yeah, so anyway, with this, you're getting a nice torso. The torso print looks fantastic. You get his backpack, which holds his weapon, his special bowcaster looking gun, which has all these golden pieces and I think looks really cool. You also get his stick, which is super fun. I remember playing around with that a lot when I was younger, which was 5 years ago, which is crazy for Rogue One. But that's besides the point. I just absolutely love, basically hitting people with a stick instead of a lightsaber. You're not cutting them off, you're just, whacking them with a stick. It's fun. I like it a lot, but let's move into number 2. At number 2, we have another one of those amazing alien figures. It is Moroff. I love this guy. This guy came back in the Y-Wing. I love the mold. I call him a knockoff Wookiee. It's just a beautiful mold. Honestly, I couldn't say more. Especially for such a minor character. He was in the background of Saw Gerrera's gang or whatever. I think he actually even appeared in Solo, which is kind of funny. The printing on him, he gets toe printing, he gets the belt area printing, he gets leg printing. It's a beautiful, beautiful figure. He obviously gets a nice brick-built backpack, which works really well, surprisingly. He even gets, if you take off the torso, he has this white furry look. So if you wanted to use that for something, that would be really neat. And overall, it's just an awesome figure. Love this guy. Now, let's get into our honorable mentions before our number 1 pick. For my honorable mentions, I wanted to have Cassian Andor in his regular straitjacket. I'm very excited for Andor. It's going to supposedly, I've heard, have Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, which I wouldn't be huge on. But anyway, Cassian's very cool. Apparently, the back-the-tank Vader counts, because that did technically show up in the movie. So that counts as a Rogue One figure, and I like that figure a lot. But, because there'd be some controversy around that, I put him in honorable mention. And also, finally, Admiral Raddus. This is our first real, non-Admiral Akbar-looking character, other than maybe Quarry, I think we got, which was the same year, maybe, or the year after. I don't know. But Admiral Raddus, I love the guy. Now let's move into number 1. At number 1, we have the Imperial Troopers. These are the specialist/commander variants. These came out back in Krennic Shuttle in 2016. These figures are beautiful. I remember the excitement when people did these. And the reason I didn't do the Battle Pack ones, while they're great, they're the more less detailed up ones. I know a lot of people don't realize there's a difference, but I always did. I love these guys. The detail on them is insane. I love the shoulder pad, or the shoulder waist cape, or whatever. I don't even know what to call it. The helmet is gorgeous. They become such a normal part of people's Imperial armies. People kind of like, forget them and dismiss them. But I want to acknowledge the fact that these guys were original to Rogue One. Like, this was like when the 501st Battle Pack first came out. Like, it was like brand new troopers. They looked really, really cool. Sadly, these two have only ever appeared in the Krennic shuttle. We haven't gotten them in other interpretations, and I hope we will, maybe with Mandalorian, or we'll see. Anything could happen. And that about rounds up our top 10 Rogue One figures. Now, if this video breaks 1,000 views, I will do A New Hope, and we will just continue on, and eventually I'll sadly have to do the sequels. But yeah, so please remember to subscribe. If you are still watching, you are a real bro, because I am honestly just super happy. So, tell me, Ugnaught. Just write Ugnaught in the comments if you made it this long. I will see you all in the next one. Remember to peace out and stay awesome.